murigereria Etaya TV no gosemeria waitu buna kwabere gukurigereria gutingira emirobero yonsi abereke gukoreka kurubwaga kiete guika boniga yaragire chinsa isano asingo kwarigania kigima ime y'umuroberio okwana Etaya lituko lya rero lya Ijumaa kitariki 20 neyemo umutienyi oikumi na limo omwaka gw'ekiri 2025 asingo kwarigania elinde nkumanyi onsi aliagenete kwa bakao koreka ase chinsemo au ime neisiko yorogongo rwaito rwagusi boigoto kubwatira namo nabaliki beita bamangana elio batumanyi nara lyaiga agendete kwa bakao koreka ase chinsemo au kubwamona akurwa ase county ya Nyamira so muliki togero Peter bakubwatira nere Felix Nyakundi bagendete kwa kachikambi ase chinsemo chiria boigona kurwa sensemo ye county ya Kisii nigo tumubwatu muliki Eric Maobe bakubwatira no Kasagi ni Kerusi Thomas na boigo oyondo kwa Kevin Onderi kwa sansemeria ya South Mugirango bachwa bago tumanyia andake aliara chwa bakao koreka asiri tukulia rero kuwa mwana ime county ya Kisii ntori kubense moye county ya Nyamira umurikete Josephat Makura Muracha nere no ara sansemeria bachwa bago tumanyia onsi alia agendete kwa bakao koreka kwa sichinsemeji kule turachwa bato kwa yanda sansemeria ya baliki baito bamangana nere buyana ara kumanyia alia agendete kwa bakao koreka ase ense engima ya Kenya boigona kurwa sensemo yeito yemitandao na litukolia rero na lyo litukolia omwelio ase aborokigwa bali abekera sikeria ya 12 bali babete bawikaranza amatemo alia KCSE ase litukolia rero na libono lya bali litukolia bali omwelio kubwa mwana bali babwateri sakaraliria ya physics paper 3 wose practicals baba bagukora ange chinsa inyene nusichabono mambia ase narora abana bange boniga gusaborokiwa bange nigo bagendete bali chinchira au eliko genda ase chinka chiabo bachikwa bakomira nabono amona bamwabo nabo igona goswabono ase rusie yiga entambe ya omotienyo yiga oikumi na kabere ase aborokyo abande bali aba kipsea nabo KJSea babo babete bagukura mapema boniga aba KCSE osikirasi 12 nabo bona siritukolia rero batabukiri bono litengo ase litukolia rero saba bachikwa bono bakogenda ase chinka nigo tokuba kiranya sawe tungambia mono oberega kulinda borokiwa baito buya na twabere to gusaba na beko baganiria amaya kubwa muna soro wango rwagusi ntoraba tokorora kende kyabereke okoreka kireke begose korekende yonse asiense mo yorogongo rwagusi gono gosemere goito na borokiwa baito babete bawikaransira amatemu abo asensira ere engiya boyanya saka banzira aseboniga bakolire amatemu abo asensira ere engiya kegima boyigona roragale mu waziri w'ikisemi Julius Migosi ogamba ni gobono aigora container yomwere ya physics paper 3 asensemeria county ya Nyamira ase bungeri ya North Mugirango wodelia yekerenyo ase sub county ya Nyamira North kubwa monona boigona agendo chikotalira eskuru elia ya bana banyaruka yake babe elikorana kiba gukora amatemu ayu aseboiga bagakorwe nkwana yaye tuchiko toko amanyinara lya bakagukwanira kubwa mono igoro ya amatemu ayiga nabo igona nabakagote abuna amatemu ayiga na chiko bakagochaka komakigwa na chinsemo chinda se bali abakorete grade bali bekera grade ya kyanda usaboro kiwa bali be grade ya kyanda bali babete bagukora amatemu ya KJSea nigo abete nigo bakagote abuna amatemu ayabo amachibu nachiko bakagosoka kitariki 10 nemo cy'umutienyi o 12 erinde abana usaboro kiwa mona bayiboli beroberi ekera bago chikobona bagosoa se grade clear ya 10 ase umutienyi o motangani omwaka w'ekiribe na 2025 nomo ose 2026 January nalibago chikoba bagosoa chiskuru au erinde bagendere nama somabo kwa mona libago chikoba the first cohort ase ababete bakora amatemo ya grade 9 nabago chikoba bagotanga nabona sikirasi keria ya grade ya 10 no gosemere goito na kurengana no murobiri yiga OCBC wizara y'ekisemi bebange tekegima eriko ene kibuna aboroki wabayiga kerbawo chibosoaga ali asensemo ya grade 10 aborokia mbaisaine elinde aboroki wabaito bagende konyora amasomo naboigo kisemi asenzera ere engiya kegima boiga seri tukuri igoro Yomurai bwense alikuruwe Kwana yaye asebungelia 13 asamaga charia ye bungo mucio Nairobi na beteka gukwanira mange kubwa mara sense melia ye Chisemi na beteka gukwanira igoro ya ekera beteka gosoa soburai na lia mangana CBE CBC transition agendrete kulinde na obutukana no bunge bwarenge kulinde baragune serikali batemire kuroberia na koene kibuna umuroberi yiga no gendete asenchire rengi yake gima na beteka gukwanira igoro yo kulikwa kwa borokia asena we esimiaka ya 3 babere bakolika aborokia 52 no most 76000 asabo igatebete na inde so ikomwa konde bachwa ba komenta abande chiribu 24 elikoene kebuna aborokia abayiga mbaisaine erinde bachwa bago somia aborokigwa asenjerengia utakira omwa konde boyigo nakwanita mangana new funding model kubwa mwana CH University usaborokia barasi University nigo abeteka gotebuna aborokigwa abange wetani chiribu isa chimisano babere bakonyora amasomo nabo igona obokonyo wetera ase new funding model usichibesa utiria bakoyana na bachikona na wetera new funding model ichi abakonyira borokia bega kwegendereria amo na masomo abo iwa sense meri ya Tibet amo na yanda mange abeteka gukwanira asense meri wizara y'Chisemi ayonse no kwene kebuna ngusira bale abakenya nabo iga sense ya Kenya nabo igona guonchureria amagima y'abakenya nabeteka gukwanira amange kegima ayo aseriti kuliegero mkubwa mwana samangana itu amaya mwabete muko yaiwa nabo igona ko yarora ali abeteka gukwanira na naralia yaiga babere bagokora asense mo ose inse yemiaka 3 yabe gakoba asobra ina kwanita mangana yabo chenu abantu abange ange chimilioni 2 na 5 na 2 babere bakwelikia asomoroberia osha nabo igona nabeteka gotebuna abakenya kurwa sechi amate chiria kitali kwenyara chimilioni 2 nabo igona 3 mbachiko bakonyora obugwene bwabusa kubwa mwana samaro ali bakorokana chronic diseases uroire buna obwa cancer naboigo uroire buna buli bwa diabetes ama nabaroire ande nabeteka okwanda igoro ya mangana yobolemi nakiba bagendete kobekemeroberio kweneke buna food security asense ita Kenya negendrete okina asebirengo byigoro elinde na amagima y'abakenya agende gwonchorira amuna yande amange kegima abeteka gukwanira boigana seri tukoria rero nabagakobeka ese ya sechibi elinde koba lichiko asense melia ya National Assembly imeyomuchiria o Nairobi ase nyumba ya magacho State House nabo igona kerakora nabo asaboni gama tugukwana nigo are asense melia ye county ya Nakuru ase omuroberi obu gochengira okobekirwe gutwa kwa banyanyimbo ase University ya National Defense University Kenya asense meyibono ye county ya Nakuru bono arase chinse mochiria boigo mwancho murigereria asense moyendega igase county ya Kisii chinse mochiria chiebungelia ya bomachoge barabu chikora eyokoragwa amono mubunge Obadia Barongo nigo babwate umujega wogotema gusira widows osabatakano se andake bali basire n'abanchi babo irinde ko gotema ko basira abanyako bakwegenderia hamo na magimabo ntochiko tokumanya mange naralia yaiga arachiko bakago kwanwa nabo igwa barayibalia bawochiko bawikirana ase chinsemo chiri hagati yabo na Romo Senator we county area ya Nyamira okongo mogeni nabo iganarura babo wino mubunge Oliemba kasi Eastern na barayibande abange obakagire wikirana bono ase omurobero yo olinge ochaka ange chinsa isano chiabono mambia tuchikwa tukumanya no kubwatia into bateina ralia yaiga abakagokoreka ase chinse mochiria Aboigo mwancho muri abweta TV kingo kolera sense mo yali agendete kwenekiwa ase emitandao abanyanyimbo nigo ekera bari bakora obutuki bwabo chinse mo kiriya kya tasi amabatini meye county area ya Nairobi nigo bono baba bakobwata bose bakobwata Nyasore ejuere ange chikiro 200 nabo igo banyora mesogoto chimi isano ya Mario yo gotindia ayuna uisokobeke kirani ase nibo nigare worth 500,000 Kenyan shillings ekere bagende to gukora bono obunyabi bwabo sobotuki bwabo koyeneke buna ngotema bale gokeania obotumeki bwa mariogo yogotindia ase enseito ya Kenya igona andake baroro bado bagende to gutumika mariogo ya igana bagana babere bakorwa egokure getindike imasende wensi uri oratoke ka gutumika na boigo gakonia mariogo ya yogotindia nekinya sore ne bintu binde nachiko bagakwirwe getambukero egetindike ima korengana amo nelichiko mwanzo muriando china yunarombo ategaiga korwa sensemo yemitandao naboigona seritukulia lero mwanzo murigerere buna ere butambe kera ritukulia Ijumaa nigo tokumirana amo na abantu gose abaminto ko basorongorwa gusi kubwa mona bali babwate chitalanta ao bali bakora ikigasi amaboko naboigona chigosori kiricho kwegia chiogosekia na yanda mange igasi ritukulia lero nigo tubwata abageni baitu igasi studio au bawo chiko bago chabonekere to chiko so sentunde ito ya kabere elinde tusange amo na barabu amange barato manyina na rya ya bago kora kubwa mona sense media ya comedy and social media platforms anda keigo bago kora chiko so lichokwegia nabego chiko sekia ekere bago tumeka bono emitandao batetena nabo gutumeka emitandao senchirerengia ninde wanyore na kwenyorere ngere yawe yakera litukolende na oisoko bago kunyetumeka bobe nabona inde serikali ira kwirire getambukiro kirege tindi kegima gasiri tukolia lero bono abasaye babere oyukorwa na school boy nabo igona mira boy bachiko bago swaga igase studio bateme kora tumanya mange bago tabago bakora kubwa mona baraba Tukoya chaka wano mwanchu murigereria bweta TV kurwa sense media ye county ya Nyamira mwaziri w'ekisemi Julius Migosi Ogamba omo director w'ekisemi ase county ya Nyamira Joshua Kaga amono mo county commissioner bwe county ya Nyamira Erastus Mbui nigo bayigora container ya matemu yo mwelio ase sub county ya Nyamira North nabayigo nigo omwaziri Julius Migosi Ogamba ara okuyora kwa matemu ayuwa sense mo school ya Banyaroka ya kebabe eyo gotoka se wode ye kerenyo ebunge ya North Mogirango ime ye county ya Nyamira okwane kerekyo mwaziri Migosi nigo atayabuna wizara y'ekisemi nigo yabeireye kubwatirana buya ase amatemu ayakoera ase litukolia lero na nigo amachiko naboigona ebitambukiro byonsi bye wizara yo birakikobwatiwa chingaki cyokomakiwa kwa matemu ayo mwako yo iga wekiribe na 2025.
For coming, so today marks the successful conclusion of the 2025 series of assessments and examinations at the basic education level in Kenya. This milestone reflects our unwavering commitment to uphold the integrity, fairness, and credibility of our national examination system. As the last KCSE paper, physical practical, is being administered this morning, we recognize the resilience and determination demonstrated by candidates and all the stakeholders across the Republic. For several weeks, center managers have risen as early as 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. to report to the examination container to open it at 7 a.m. daily to collect examination materials. Supervisors and invigilators have prepared examination rooms each morning to ensure that every learner began their prep on time and in a conducive environment. Their consistency and discipline have been central to the success of this examination season. The administration of the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examinations has proceeded seamlessly over the past 4 weeks from the 21st of October to today, the 21st of November 2025. This achievement is the result of meticulous planning and the dedication of over 110,000 personnel, including teachers, serving as center managers, supervisors and invigilators, as well as officers from the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Interior and National Administration. Their vigilance ensured strict adherence to procedures and security protocols. To all these officers, we extend our profound gratitude for your patriotism and sacrifice in safeguarding the future of our learners. Efforts were made to ensure that every registered candidate sat the examinations, including those hospitalized and willing to participate. We commend the resilience of these candidates. Sadly, we lost some of the candidates during this period. To the families of the deceased learners, we convey our deepest condolences and stand with you in this time of grief. Your loss is our loss, and we honor the memory of these young lives. While KCSE has concluded, our examination distribution centers remain active as the November series of the Technical and Vocational Education and Training TVET examinations are ongoing. A total of 15,266 candidates are sitting business examinations and 38,959 candidates are sitting technical examinations in 752 TVET institutions across the country. These examinations commenced on the 17th of November and will conclude on the 5th of December 2025. The Ministry assures all TVET candidates that the same integrity and fairness applied to KCSE examination will govern these examinations. While most stakeholders demonstrated commendable integrity, isolated cases of malpractice were reported. During the administration of the 2025 KCSE examination, 418 candidates were reported to have engaged in examination malpractices compared to 614 candidates in 2024. This despite the fact that this year we had the largest number of candidates at 3.4 million. Investigations are ongoing, and any individual institution found culpable will face the full force of the law under the NEC Act 2012. Measures include the registration of examination centers, nullification of results, disqualification of candidates, and criminal prosecution where necessary. Impersonation cases will attract severe sanctions, including barring candidates from sitting KCSE until 2027. I wish to emphasize that all reported cases will be thoroughly investigated and appropriate action will be taken in accordance with the NEC Act, including cancellation of results, barring of candidates from future NEC examinations, and prosecution of all individuals found culpable of abetting examination malpractice. As we transition to the marking phase, the Ministry assures all candidates and the public that fairness will prevail. 32,558 examiners will undertake marking in 40 centers with strict integrity checks in place. Examiners from compromised centers have been disqualified from participation to maintain credibility. We remind candidates, parents, and the public that vigilance does not end with examinations. If you have information on malpractice or collusion, report it confidentially to NEC via the email ceo@nec.ac.ke or a toll-free number 0800-724-900 and 0800-721-410. Every report will be treated with utmost seriousness to protect the sanctity of the certification. The marking of the Kenya Junior Secondary Education Assessment is ongoing, and all efforts are being made to ensure results are released by the 11th of December 2025. This will enable the Ministry to conduct placement of learners into senior school based on their strengths and interests in the three pathways, that is the arts and sports science, social sciences, and science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM. Early release will also allow parents to prepare adequately for admission before the festive season. The Ministry remains steadfast in its mission to deliver quality education and uphold examination integrity in line with the aspirations of the Constitution and Vision 2030. Together, we will ensure that merit, fairness, and excellence define our education system. Thank you, and may God bless you, and happy holidays. Asanteni sana.
Togosikobosyo omurai bwense ya Kenya Dr. William Samuel Ruto nigo emambe ya rero abeka essay yo wantira chibil au kurwase ebunge ya Senate nelia enene asekirenga yo koligia goikera obokoreri gore uya ime yense ya Kenya nomuroberi obago ikiranwa negati ya barai gati yabo mwaziri wa mangana yekigancha John Mbadi naboigo abaseneta n'ababunge eliokoba kirori ase omuroberi oyu.
Further seek to enhance the ease of doing business by removing shareholding limits to attract more investment in regulated institutions. Without such limits, large investors may be more willing to invest significant capital, thereby increasing liquidity and expanding opportunities for institutions. Your Excellency, sir, the Provisional Collection of Taxes and Duties Repeal Bill 2025 will be the third bill submitted for your assent. This bill removes from the laws of Kenya a 1959 statute that allowed Parliament to introduce taxes before the full legislation was passed. The court, in petition number 253 of 2018, declared the statute unconstitutional. Its repeal, therefore, clears our statute books and affirms the constitutional principle that all taxes must be imposed only through properly enacted laws. Sir, this state ceremony will culminate with the assent of the government-owned Enterprise Bill 2025, National Assembly Bill number 40 of 2025. This landmark legislation ushers in a transformative era in the governance of state corporations by providing for the comprehensive restructuring of commercial state corporations and reinforcing their governance architecture in alignment with established best practices in corporate governance. Your Excellency, sir, with both houses of Parliament having dutifully discharged their legislative mandate, it is now my distinct honor and high privilege to petition Your Excellency as the head of state and government to graciously exercise the powers conferred upon you under Article 115 of the Constitution and assent to these four bills.
Of the PFM Act. Within 30 days after the end of every quarter, the CS Treasury should publish a report on the funds actually transferred to the counties. Your Excellency, I'll be honored to present the bill.
Your Excellency, I have the instructions of the Speaker of the National Assembly to place before you 3 vellum copies for your assent. The first one is the Capital Markets Amendment Bill, which was a bill that was introduced in the National Assembly by the leader of Majority Party, having gone through the Cabinet. That bill, Your Excellency, is one of those that the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury undertook to bring to Parliament when he was reading the budget in June last year. Correct. The bill, Your Excellency, is one of those that is implementing the objectives of the government and Parliament to make doing business in Kenya easy. Under the current Section 29 of the Capital Markets Act, is a requirement that the shareholding for different players under capital markets, that is stock brokers and investment banks, that the shareholdings are limited by law. Now Parliament decided, for purposes of flexibility and making Kenya more competitive, should give those powers, delegate those powers to the Cabinet Secretary so that those decisions are made on flexible basis and to reflect the global markets so as to attract more investments in the Republic of Kenya. The bill is short, Your Excellency, and it provides that it will come into force after 14 days following its assent. Your Excellency, the second bill to come before you is a small one. It's the Provisional Collection of Taxes Repeal Bill. Sometime in the year 2017, Mr. Omutata then petitioned Parliament to remove a key clause from its statute books, including this law. He argued before Parliament that that law was taking away the powers of Parliament. Parliament delayed in actualizing his decision, and therefore he approached the courts, and he was able to convince courts that that law is indeed unconstitutional, since it was allowing the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury. The moment he announces the taxation measures in June, they were becoming law, as if the tax law has been passed by Parliament. The court agreed with him that that was taking away the powers of Parliament, and indeed against the Constitution of Kenya 2010. So in 2019, the court ruled. Parliament did not appeal. The Attorney General at the time did not appeal, neither did the National Treasury. Therefore, the law was declared unconstitutional, but continues to stay moot in our law books. So the decision of the Cabinet was to ask Parliament to remove it from our law books by repealing it. And that is what is before you today. Simply a cleanup of our law book. The last one, Your Excellency, is a government-owned enterprises bill, the GOE Bill 2025. This bill was introduced in the National Assembly by the leader of the majority party, having been received from the Cabinet through the Office of the Attorney General. The bill, Your Excellency, introduces new ways in which the government will be making investments in its own entities. It provides for, number one, for a public entity for a government-owned enterprise to be created, there must be a business logic behind it. It must be able to run on its own without being funded by the exchequer. It must be able to run on its own without asking for more money from the taxpayers. The bill also provides, Your Excellency, that there is a list of 65 hitherto state corporations and another 18 which will henceforth be registered under the Companies Act as government enterprises, and they be reformed in accordance with this law. The idea is to streamline the commercial operations of all government enterprises so that it makes commercial sense to the people of Kenya.
This is the law that was originally spearheaded by what was that member of parliament for Mandela? Abdikadir.
Yes. Abdikadir, yes.
Abdikadir.
Yes.
That was which year? 2014. Yes. So it's been doing the round.
Yes, since 2014, there was that proposal that came from of not more than 9 persons, a majority of whom, that is 6, will be independent persons, a majority of whom, that is 6, will be independent directors who are sourced through a mechanism called search and identify.
Umwana chebina omonene gose Chief Justice Martha Koome nigo atogirio mukia bw'ebigambiro ase okwaneke buna kiromo Kenya ngoikirare obwene bwaye gwitirase ebigambiro okwana ase omoroberio o State of Judiciary na boigo Administration of Justice omoroberio boigo oikiranwa no mokonyi bw'omurayi bwense Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki Koome nigo abolia okubwatirana kurwase ebyombe ao bya serikali eliokoene kia ogokina kwebirengo by'ebigambiro ime yense ya Kenya.
Strengthening the rule of law and advancing the administration of justice. This occasion marks an important moment in our democratic calendar. The Sonja report is not simply a statutory requirement. Like other speakers who have spoken said, it is a constitutional duty anchored in the values of transparency, accountability, and public participation. Through it, the judiciary provides a candid account of the work we have done in the past year, how we have exercised judicial authority, the progress achieved, how we have utilized the resources given to the judiciary. We account for the challenges we have encountered along the way and the reforms that we wish to undertake. This annual report reinforces the judiciary's transparency, accessibility, and accountability as an independent arm of government. It is through such mechanisms that we keep faith with the sovereign will of the Kenyan people, where we remain open to scrutiny and continue to engage Kenyans so that we can build public trust in the administration of justice. The theme of this year's report, enhancing accountability and public trust in the judiciary, speaks to our institutional focus on enhancing public trust, which is the lifeblood of any justice system. Without it, even the most sophisticated courts cannot command confidence, obedience, or legitimacy. For this reason, the judiciary has continued to strengthen the integrity of our systems, deepen internal accountability, to improve performance management, to widen access to justice, and to accelerate implementation of the social transformation through access to justice blueprint. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's Sonja demonstrates the progress we have made in building an accountable, people-centered justice system. Justice belongs to the people. Everybody wants to experience fairness and justice. Therefore, we have undertaken institutional reforms aimed at enhancing the enforcement of ethical standards, protecting the public from misconduct, and ensuring that every judge, judicial officer, and staff members, all of them uphold the highest ideals of professionalism as detailed by the speech by the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice, who is in charge of performance and disciplinary matters, especially for our judicial officers and staff. In advancing public trust, communication and openness remain essential. We strengthened the institutional communication through the establishment of the Judiciary Spokesperson's Office, operationalization of the Judiciary Call Center, and held the inaugural Judiciary Dialogue Day, a milestone participatory platform where we invited citizens in all the court stations, we invited partners and stakeholders, where they engaged directly with judges, judicial officers, and staff across the court stations in the country. In addition, our court stations held open days, breaking down barriers between the courts and the communities they serve, and enhancing transparency and accountability at the grassroots levels. Your Excellency, the Deputy President, our guests, access to justice also improved significantly during the last financial year through expansion of the judiciary's physical and digital footprint. We continued to grow judicial presence across the country by operationalizing new courts and sub-registries. These include a new Court of Appeal sub-registry in Garissa, bringing the total number of the Court of Appeal sub-registries to 6. We also operationalized 2 high court stations in Isiolo and Makandara, and 5 additional High Court sub-registries, ensuring the presence of the High Court in all the 47 counties. Please clap for that. We also operationalized 6 new magistrates' courts, bringing the total number of magistrates' courts to 143 in 133 constituencies. We also handed 3 new small claims courts, increasing the number of small claims courts to 40. We also enhanced the environment and land courts capacity by establishing a new appeals division in Nairobi. The transition of the Retirement Benefits Appeals Tribunal to the judiciary raised the number of tribunals under our administration to 27 out of 43 shared services centers for tribunals in Nairobi and Kisumu to enhance access to justice through tribunals and to optimize resources. Your Excellency, beyond establishing new courts, we strengthened the reach of justice through mobile courts, where 59 mobile courts were in operation.
Okwanekere ikyo n'omukonyi w'omuspeaker w'ebunge nene Gladys Sholei oyuboigo oikarana ase omurogori oyo ase libaga lyaye omuspeaker w'ebunge nene Moses Masika Wetangula oyunere bweneke buna ebunge nigo ere ange kubwatirana n'ebigambiro elio goikera ekirenga ky'obwene ase ebigambiro.
It is an indispensable accountability instrument that strengthens Kenya's democratic fabric. Our judiciary serves the key roles of protecting the promise of democracy, guarding the soul of the Constitution, and building and maintaining public trust in our institutions. This occasion should therefore not be viewed through the narrow lenses of the launch of the report. SOJA is a mirror that reflects the state of the institutional strength, moral posture, and public trust in the justice system. The report is more than an administrative record. It is a record of progress, a diagnostic tool of the challenges to access justice, and also an invitation for all of us to collaborate and recommit to the constitutional vision of ensuring that justice is seen to be done. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to highlight 2 critical legislative interventions currently before the National Assembly, initiatives that reaffirm the Parliament's unwavering commitment in strengthening the judiciary. First, as has been noted by the chairperson, or will be noted by the chairperson of JLAC, the Judges' Retirement Benefits Bill 2025. This is a historic and long overdue piece of legislation that seeks to safeguard the welfare of our retired judges. A judiciary that attracts and retains men and women of integrity must equally be honored. They must equally be honored upon retirement. The bill is currently at the 2nd reading and benefiting from a robust deliberations to secure the decency of judges of our superior courts in their retirement. The National Assembly is firmly committed to supporting this legislation as it speaks directly to judicial dignity, independence, and institutional continuity. And I must confirm that I was presiding over the House when the deliberations began. Not a single person objected to the bill. And that is usually very unusual for Parliament. Usually we have the naysayers and the ayes. But this time, each and every person who spoke on Wednesday supported it absolutely. And we shall continue with debate on Thursday and on Tuesday, and then probably put the question. So you have our commitment, and Parliament has realized that that was grave injustice, that bill wasn't there in the first place for all this time. The second piece of legislation is the Kenya Judiciary Academy Bill 2025. The Judiciary Academy has served as an invaluable training and research arm, and this bill seeks to anchor it firmly in law. By doing so, We expect to strengthen the efforts to enhance the skills, the knowledge, and the professionalism of the judicial officers and other justice sector holders. This bill is at the public participation stage, with a report which report is expected to be tabled shortly, hopefully on Thursday, before we go on recess. Once enacted, it will elevate the academy into a robust statutory institution, supporting innovation, continuous learning, and excellence. The two bills are practical demonstrations of the legislature's support to the judiciary in fulfilling its constitutional mandate. And as we receive SOJA today, we must remember that the rule of law is shared responsibility. An independent and well-supported judiciary is not a gift. It is a constitutional imperative and a national necessity. As former Chief Justice Al Warren aptly put, justice must not only be done, but must be seen to be done. And we all agree that the judiciary should also be well-resourced, financially and technologically, and with adequate human resources, will be better positioned to dispense justice efficiently and fairly. Parliament will therefore continue to prioritize adequate and sustainable budgetary allocations to respond to the emerging needs of the judiciary and to foster constructive engagement through the National Council for the Administration of Justice. I'm aware that the judiciary currently operates with only 64% of the establishment. That is 6,979 employees against a requirement of 10,870 personnel. This severe human resource deficit constrains the courts and contributes to backlog, delays, and undermines the clearance rate of our cases, and also undermines innovations such as the small claims court. In the forthcoming deliberations for the financial year 2026-2027 budget, I would urge the judiciary to robustly engage Parliament through the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee for priority allocation of resources for recruitment of additional judges, judicial officers, and staff to significantly address the identified needs. Your Ladyship, as I conclude, the Apostle Luke notes in the good book that to whom more is given, more is expected. As Parliament, we undertake to support the judiciary to achieve its constitutional purpose. As a rider, we must always remember to fulfill the attendant elevated public expectations as a result. All of us must account for every public penny given, and we must not hesitate to denounce and cut corruption to its root. Against this backdrop of the recent adverse comments by the public and practitioners on internal accountability of the judiciary, today's launch presents an invaluable opportunity, and I'm confident that this report and subsequent actions by the judiciary and its partners shall allay the public concerns and affirm the judiciary's commitment to transparency and institutional integrity.
Bya kigima bano mwancho muri abweta TV oroboti ururwa yo mukonyi wo speaker bwe bungene ne Gladys Sholei na rurogotoira ase omutima koromoke kigima tokoirana tuchikoirana amo nabageni beito tosange amange kobwa na gukwanira iguro ya comedy and social media kobwa mona kyo tumekibwa amangana yo kwegia nabo igona ogose ky'abantu boniga bakire bose bambukire bakire nsanse muri digital ase bagutumeka bano emitandao ase ogotema gukora amangana ali bakurukana content creation tuchikaba tukumanya amange kurwase abageni baito asegekeke kirebosyo.
Welcome to Porter's Premium School, molding the future one child at a time. Porter's Premium School is a modern, world-class learning institution located in the serene environment of Nyatieko, Mwisho wa Lami, just 3 kilometers from Kisii Town. Our school stands out as a premier educational facility in the region, far ahead of others in providing a nurturing, safe and stimulating environment where children thrive academically, socially, and morally. Nestled in a clean and naturally refreshing setting, Potter's Premium School offers learners the ideal atmosphere for focused learning and holistic development. Surrounded by nature with fresh air and ample space, the school provides a calm and inspiring environment that fosters curiosity and creativity in young minds. We are comprehensively equipped with ECD classes, spacious modern primary classes, and CBE-compliant junior school. This is complemented by modern fully furnished boarding for both boys and girls. At Potter's Premium School, we are founded on strong Christian values, aiming to mold both boys and girls into responsible, compassionate, and disciplined individuals. We believe that academic excellence goes hand in hand with moral development, shaping the character of every child entrusted to our care. Our school boasts modern, spacious classrooms equipped with ample learning materials to engage even our youngest learners. Restrooms and quiet nap areas are provided for children who need a break during the day, ensuring they remain refreshed and focused. We have a fully equipped ICT laboratory, spacious enough to accommodate multiple learners, alongside facilities for music, cookery, and Kenya Sign Language, providing a rich and diversified learning experience. Our trained and qualified teachers are committed to delivering top-notch education while nurturing the individual talents of each child. Understanding the importance of play in child development, we have a spacious playground fitted with safe and engaging playing materials. Children enjoy physical activities that enhance their social skills, fitness, and teamwork in a secure environment. Potter's Premium School prioritizes the health and well-being of our learners, and we maintain clean toilet facilities with running water. Security is strictly enforced from the school entrance to ensure every child is safe at all times. To ensure convenience for parents and learners, the school has heavily invested in a reliable fleet that offers safe and timely transport to ensure learners are picked and dropped on